All right, guys, let's jump right into this. I think obviously I have to address the elephant in the room. Evan, how you doing this week, bud?
It's been rough. I'm not doing too good. Actually, thank you for bringing it up, though, because I do owe anyone who watches our Facebook page and our Instagram page a little bit of an apology. Normally, we put a graphic out every Sunday about who our picks are for the week, and I was too sick to do it, so it didn't happen. So you'll get a chance to make your picks next week with us, but this week it didn't happen.
So where it didn't happen, I'm guessing those drivers are still available to be picked again.
No,
I think they should be.
Yeah,
I'm going to pick Joey 3 weeks.
yeah. I'm good taking
Well, you
Bell
can
again.
if he makes the playoffs. Don't forget.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah. Why, you didn't enjoy your pick this week, Donnie?
We'll get to that, buddy. We'll get to that.
How about you, Donnie? How was your week?
Not so bad. I
No?
mean, I'm recovering.
Yeah.
Just taking her easy. Warm weather's here.
We
Getting
should
a
be
walk
clear.
around
That,
the
like,
relevant.
where do you live?
Really?
yeah,
Hold on,
It was
island
here.
freezing here today.
Bro, it was like 9
freezing.
degrees and sunny.
Yeah, but you're the scrawny one.
No, it was snowing for a little bit this afternoon.
What?
Yeah, no
Oh,
joke.
that's wild. Yeah, no, it wasn't snowing here today.
No.
No, it was actually quite warm. I was walking around in the dome with a t-shirt.
Y'all see the eclipse?
No, when you are, you don't usually see.
What?
No, I actually, I didn't. I had the opportunity to see it right from the house. I don't think I could have seen like the totality or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
But
yes, DoorDash showed up just as they were.
no, that probably would have allowed me to see it. No, I was in my room, not feeling well at all, so I just stayed put. Yeah, did you see it?
Of course.
Oh,
That's all Harry Station was talking about.
oh, no doubt. Did all 6 of you line up on the street?
Yep.
Nice. Share
Well,
one.
it wasn't nice, man.
Lenses,
5
right?
of us are afraid of the dark, so.
Well, fair enough.
Oh, man. It's late. Like, we're recording this a day late because Evan was sick, and it's
A
9
day
o'clock
late,
at night.
and then
so,
late at night because of Korey.
Right?
Hey, I'm eating my supper on the podcast, so give me props.
Supper brought to you by McDonald's.
McDonald's, yeah.
It's
Last
good
week we
enough
had
for
Donnie
Bubba,
dressed up
good
as
enough for
Christopher
me.
Bell so that he could announce his pick. Do we think
Go
that's
Bubba.
do we think that's what Corey's doing tonight?
I'm just insulted neither one of you asked how my week was. You don't care about me, I guess.
Well, we were getting there.
Okay.
We were building up to what was likely the best week out of the three of us. How was your week, Korey?
It's good. I became a semi-professional driver this week, just like you.
Oh yeah, you got iRacing up and going.
I started iRacing.
I knew that. I was very excited about that.
Oh, I know.
What are you doing after the podcast?
Going to bed.
Such an adult.
Right.
You don't even have to work tomorrow. What are you doing?
I don't know, man. Getting old.
Well, listen, is this discussion going anywhere or should we?
No, we're good.
Well, I'm about to eat my burger. If anybody wants to watch.
I don't really think we have a choice at this point. How about you? Let's do a food review podcast. What do you got for a burger there, Korey? Let me see. I'm gonna say
quarter pounder.
I was gonna say quarter pounder with cheese.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I don't want to claim to be some professional, but
Well,
I mean, you
that
look
goes
at
without saying.
well, the quarter pounder is kind of my go-to burger as of late. Well, the double quarter pounder. Let's be honest.
All right. Are we ready?
I don't know. Are you done chewing?
Well, for a few minutes, so I better get the first question in here.
All right.
So NASCAR was in Martinsville for the third short track race of the season. And after such a promising race at Bristol and a drama-filled race at Richmond, anticipation was high for the event. Did the race live up to its potential? Me.
Korey,
Go ahead, Corey. Answer your own.
It sucked.
Do you want to try that with a little more tact, or?
Well, no, I was going to take another bite of my burger, but
Oh, okay.
no. So
All right, I'll take over for you, buddy. Yeah, I mean, you look at social media over the years that we've had it around, and it's always Martinsville doesn't disappoint. This is the race. This is awesome. Can't wait. And since this new package has come along, like this is just they can't get it right. Like it's ruined what was honestly one of the greatest races on the schedule. And I mean, I hope you'd like to think NASCAR's listening to this, but I mean, what are we 3-4 years now and no
Yeah.
changes have happened? Like,
And we've been clear.
Yeah, I mean, it's garbage. Like it's yeah.
Kevin?
I'm gonna actually just refer to, speaking of social media, I'm just gonna refer to Jeff Gluck's
Jeff
poll.
Gluck. That was brutal, eh?
31.9% of people said that it was a good race. That is 16 of 17 Martinsville races that he's done the poll on. It ranks number 51 of 52 short track races that he's done the poll on. And it ranks 290 of all 308 races that he's done that poll on as basically horrible. So I'm going to say, and let's also add in the fact that Hendrick Motorsports won the race.
There's your 31%.
Well, yeah. So like Hendrick
Pretty
Motorsports
much.
wins, Chase Elliott runs third, and Kyle Larson runs second. I mean, those are very,
Popular drivers.
yeah, like people that generally vote based on where their driver finishes. Those are large fan bases to vote positively. So I think, like, if you look at it, man, like nobody's talking positively about this
But-
race.
Like you couldn't pass.
No,
Like
I
we
know.
had a guy run 180 laps on one set of tires and didn't give up the lead to like lap 175. Like
half
it was
of that, to be fair.
well, you still though, like it
I know. I
it's
know.
ridiculous. They couldn't even pass lap traffic for like 10 laps sometimes.
Yeah, it was.
It was garbage.
It was just another chapter in us hating the short track package that we got right now.
Right? Like you guys we brought it up in the group chat. Like, what do you think of that? And I was like, it wasn't the worst like we've ever I was trying to be positive because I feel like my go-to with any short track has been it sucked. This is stupid. Why can't and I'm like, no, I'm gonna sit on it. And like the more I was researching and doing everything for like this episode, and I'm like, that race just sucked. Like,
Yeah.
no way around it.
The only people who enjoyed that race were Hendrick.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the people
really.
that were there. And I'll be honest with you too. I think because of Bristol, we really had such a positive, outlook on what this race could be, and it just
Right.
it was
Like I almost wish Bristol didn't happen. Like, don't show us what we could have and then take
Yeah.
it away.
And I'll be honest with you, the other series, like Xfinity this weekend, was a good race. I know you probably don't get to watch them as much, Donnie, but I know Corey used to watch them quite a bit.
Stokes the Almirola got the win.
Xfinity was a good race.
Xfinity was good. It was drama filled. Cars could pass. Tires wore out. It had everything you kind of wanted. And then,
Like, I feel like at this point, Goodyear's just like, look how great our tires are. You can run 188 laps. Like,
yeah, but
no one watches NASCAR for that and says, "What tires are these? Are they any good?" Like,
fair
it's
enough.
stupid.
But you can't tell me that they're doing that in the Cup Series and then in Xfinity and trucks, being like, let's put a more wearable tire on these things, right? I honestly think it's just that NASCAR has made it so that the tire is too big. It's way too wide of a tire, so even the heat, it distributes across a wider face, so it dissipates easier. The brake heat doesn't get into the tires as much because they're a wider tire, so they dissipate the heat easier through the wider rim.
That's a John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, fair enough.
Really, the only exciting thing that happened that race.
But like people talk about horsepower, and I do think horsepower would make a huge difference. But I think if you just throw horsepower at the car and you don't address the fact that we've got way too much tire for short tracks, I think it's still not going to be as good as it can be. And I want Martinsville back.
Yeah.
You gotta, as a Jeff Gordon fan growing up, Martinsville was the track.
Now, as an Alex Bowman fan, what's the track?
We're working on it. We're figuring it out.
Yeah, we're building things.
To be fair, once
be
Gordon
fair.
retired, I wasn't expecting to find a driver that good easily.
So here's the problem, though. Why NASCAR isn't going to do anything is because last year, I believe what I read was Chase Elliott's first race back at Martinsville.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so there was 2.2 million people tuned into that race. And this year, with the women's final going on in NCAA, which I don't know why anybody would watch that, but 18 million people watched that, and we still had 2.19 million people watch Martinsville. So they didn't lose any audience, basically,
I'm
from
gonna
last year.
honestly, like, as bad as that race was, I was ticked that they freaking spoiled that because I was gonna watch that game after. I'm like,
Oh,
why would you ever think
because
that
they gave the
NASCAR is
result
gonna?
mid-race.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
just because your sporting event sucks right now, don't spoil the other ones I want to watch today.
Yeah, I never even thought of that, but
Yeah, I hadn't considered that either.
I mean, I was never going to watch women's basketball anyways, but that's...
Yeah, come on.
If Corey doesn't like to feel
Loser.
inferior.
You boys are awful.
Well, actually, I've been watching that PWHL. It's good hockey.
Not bad. Good numbers too.
Yeah.
Like, 15,000 people like on YouTube. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah, no, it's been good going, and I like it.
We'll save that for the hockey podcast, but
I like it more than Corey's male sports.
Come back to keep your stick on the ice Thursday nights.
To be fair, Corey watches men's beach volleyball too.
I do not. But no, those numbers definitely surprised me. I figured they'd be down some from last year, but
Yeah, no, they were pretty solid, but
no. So anyways, I don't know if you guys heard or not during the broadcast, but Hendrick Motorsports celebrated their 40th anniversary of their first win at Martinsville by arriving with a huge group of former and current employees and family members, as well as color match paint schemes and a huge social media campaign. William Byron wins to bring home the victory in a race that was very important to HMS, not to mention Fox, apparently, and gets his third win on the season in only 8 races. Although it's early, Byron is on pace for nearly 14-win season. After winning this event, HMS 300th win last year and leading the wins column in the NextGen era, is William Byron the new face of Hendrick Motorsports? Donnie.
He should be, but unfortunately, no.
No.
Like, he could win 36 races, and Chase Elliott's always going to be the face of that organization until that's done. But as far as is he the most talented driver and the guy that you got to think is your best shot at a championship? Yeah, yes. And
I think
yes
he's
and
gonna
no,
win
because you got
championship
Kyle
first.
Larson. Like, there's 2 guys you can't ever bet against really right now, it seems. Like, William Byron is just, he's taken off, his career's going. I think he could go on a big run, like 3 championships, 5 years kind of thing. Like, I think he's a special talent, but you also got probably the best wheelman in the sport right now with Kyle Larson, who...
Wait, what was that? Do you want to say that again?
No, we're going to... But like, you know what I mean? Like, when it comes to Phoenix, like, in this format, when it comes down to one race, I still think I'd take Kyle Larson over Byron, but...
Yeah, and I think you can't really have that discussion of he's a new face until he wins that first championship. Then there might be a bigger discussion, but that's my
opinion. I mean, he's making a case for it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like Daytona 500 win, championship 4 last year, and he's building off that season. So, yeah, I think he's got the potential to be, but
I would make a few different arguments. Not necessarily that I think he is, but I don't necessarily think he needs to be a championship winner to be in the conversation. I don't think anyone ever said that.
Spoke like a Bowman fan.
Exactly right.
Hang on, hear me out.
We're working on it.
No, irrelevant. I don't think after Sidney Crosby's
race for
year,
fun, not championship.
Listen, after Sidney Crosby's first year in Pittsburgh, people weren't saying, "I don't know if he's the face of the Penguins just yet" until he wins as a championship. LeBron's first year.
Yeah, but hold on. Who else was there really at Pittsburgh?
Oh, sure, 100%. But
there's like
Mario Lemieux was the face of that franchise even after he was gone for a while.
Yeah.
Crosby wasn't the face of Crosby's
No.
the face of the NHL put out in front of you,
Mm.
but that was still a Muse
But he
team.
was in
like,
the conversation, is what I'm saying. The statement was
Alright.
made a minute ago. He's not in the conversation until he wins that championship. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I think he's absolutely dominating the next gen era. And I think what sets him
Okay,
apart,
hold. I don't know if he's dominating. He's got 11 wins and Kyle
he's
Larson's
leading
8.
every statistic.
No, he's not. Larson has more top 5s than him.
And Larson has more DNFs.
Also
Yeah.
true, but he's still
Sorry.
got more top 5s with having those DNFs. So
But there is
And
where
more
I think
championships.
and more championships.
Not in the next
that was,
gen
no,
era.
that's right. Not in 2021.
But that's where I think William Byron does excel. He doesn't really make mistakes that cost him a race ever. Like the guy is just
ever.
name it.
Well, I don't know right out of the bat, but
Phoenix. Oh, last year?
Yep.
What did he do that cost him the race?
He didn't win.
he didn't have a fast enough car.
Yeah, that's not on him though.
Mm.
Like he doesn't make mistakes in the driver's seat that cost him the race. That's what I'm saying.
He's not going to drive into a sand barrel, is what you're saying.
Right. Like the guy is super consistent, super clean, and
Super clean, bro. Now we got
Did you
to,
watch Daytona?
right?
other than
Did you
Daytona.
like 2 of his 3 wins? Yeah.
What was the other one?
Where did he win?
He
Road
won at
course.
Coda, where
Coda.
he never was behind anybody hardly.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it's just a different. Maybe Atlanta. I don't know. There's somewhere else where he was just driving through people. Like,
Yeah, I just don't think he won that race. I can't remember, but
yeah.
Oh, maybe. But no,
No, I wouldn't. Clean's not a word I'd use for Byron. Like
really?
the kid gets he gets the Hendrick privilege. Like, oh, these are the faces of NASCAR. These guys do no wrong. Like, no, the guy's aggressive and he, like, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, I'm not giving you the clean one.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's where I stand on it. I totally think he's poised to be the next face, even if he isn't right now.
I will say this though, he doesn't come out and say I'm a clean driver and so raced me hard like Kyle Larson. You know what I mean? Or I'll take one of my guys too, Denny Hamlin. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So I'll give him props for that. Like, if you're going to be a jerk, like, don't pretend you're not.
Yeah.
So he doesn't
And
do
actually,
that. So
I think that kind of switched when Logano took that win from him at Darlington a couple years ago by just absolutely destroying him and putting him in that wall hard.
yeah.
I think that's kind of where that mentality changed of I can be aggressive too.
I wish Truex would find it.
Yeah.
yeah, he was nowhere yesterday. Well, speaking of, we can talk about that. So,
Why did I set that up?
so Joe Gibbs Racing has a less than stellar day at Martinsville, with their highest finisher being Denny Hamlin 11th. Given their speed throughout the season so far, does this raise any concerns, or is this simply just an issue of missed opportunity? Personally, I think Ford's going to take over now, and Toyota's not going to win again this year.
Okay.
What do you think, Donnie?
Yeah, I think with Joe Gibbs, it was just a matter of they missed the setup.
I agree. That's what I think it was.
Yeah, like Truex had a, qualified good, didn't have the setup they needed, drop back. Christopher Bell, pit road issues, took him out of the race. Denny Hamlin really was the only bright spot with JGR, and they blew that on pit call strategy. And we had Gibbs, who was 19th, I think. Truex ended 18th. But as far as like Toyota, is this a thing of Toyota to come? You have 23-11. Bubba finished 4th. Reddick finished 7th. Eric Jones finished 12th. You know what I mean? John Hunter Nemechek caught fire and didn't finish. So,
did you mention where Christopher Bell finished, or did you skip over him?
You got that, eh? Yeah, and Bill finished 35th.
I think for me, I don't fault Denny and them for pitting there. They got 2 wins on the season. They don't need a good points day.
There was also only 15 cars in the lead lap, wasn't there? So he wasn't all way back.
And if you pit,
but
you're hoping other people come with you, right? Like he's got nothing to lose, nothing really to gain. Like it's either a miracle or whatever.
And that's kind of what he said.
Denny Hamlin. Like he's in fourth spot. All he's gonna do is drive through somebody and go win the race. Like if there's anyone in the field that would do that, it's Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano. And
But like
probably
I said to
William
you,
Byron
but
now.
like I said to you yesterday, I don't even think Denny Hamlin has enough security to pull that off yesterday.
Yeah.
Like with those 3 cars from HMS leading the race on their big 40th ordeal that everyone needed to hear about the whole. I'm an HMS fan, and I was sick
Oh
of it.
man, that was brutal.
Like it was disgusting.
So what, they finished all 4 in the top 4, did they?
No, just the top 3, and then the
Top
other
3?
guy,
Bowman was 8th.
whoever the
Oh, that's right.
Um,
Yeah, there's
fourth
always
man
one
in the
that drags them
garage.
down.
and anyway, oh yeah, I don't even think even Denny wants that much heat. So, but I think JGR is fine. I just think it was an off day. Everyone has them, and if you're gonna have an off day, it might as well be at the one track where you can't pass anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I shouldn't say the one track, the one type of track where you can't pass anyway.
Yeah. Oh man, it's brutal that they've done that to this race.
It is, yeah. And we've got one more coming up this year, and I feel like it's going to be just as bad, if not worse.
Right.
So,
like ratings have to be down for that race. Like it just,
You'd think.
yeah,
the only thing I think that'll help it is that it's a playoff race, right?
yeah. Just hopefully whoever you're cheering for qualifies first
And stays there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pit every 180 laps for tires. You should be good.
Because I hear like if you mess up in the pits, you lose 4 laps. Finished like 35th.
Yeah.
And really, like when Joey was losing his tires there at the end of stage 2, that was pretty much the only kind of exciting part of the whole race because there was a little bit of passing.
Right?
That was really the only.
Who did you pick for a championship, Evan?
Christopher Bell.
Yeah, there explains a lot.
Yeah.
How was a kid supposed to overcome that?
Actually, I'll be honest with you. I was even kind of disappointed when the caution came out because I'm like, can we just get this thing over?
Man, I was stoked because I'm like, oh, perfect. Denny's in 4th. He's going to friggin' ruin Hendrick's day. And then he chickened out.
But even if he does get in there and drive, like, chances are one of them survives and wins that race anyway. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, in a sheer numbers situation. And you know we're going to have 2 on the inside and 1 on the outside. Like, it's just.
Yeah.
I think the only guy who passed was Larson, didn't he? He passed Chase there at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think can you imagine if Denny would have pushed Chase Elliott out of the way and took that win? Like that, man. Like that would have
did in 17 or 18 or whenever it was.
Yeah, I'd be sitting here convincing you this was race of the season and we just witnessed the best ever. Like
you might have been trying to convince me of that.
Yeah.
Regardless of who won or who didn't, I would not have bought into that.
You know what? I'm just going to jump on this too. It's not in the notes or anything, but props to Chase Elliott. Like I don't like the guy at all, but he actually looked like a race car driver.
He looked like he was trying. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I love to see the aggressiveness, and especially against teammates. A lot of times you just fall in formation, and unless you're at Joe Gibbs, then you jump the gun and take the win.
Yeah, well, and he and Byron fought for it at the end. Like they were loose and getting each other bent out of shape and stuff. So like it wasn't like they were just like, get in line, let's roll. It was we're here, we want the win. And I get why. Like, I mean, that was a momentous occasion for the team. It just, I don't think it mattered to everybody else as much as it mattered to them.
I got one more question too. What did you think of Kevin Harvick's comment? Linda Hendricks at home going to be yelling at her TV to Alex Bowman, why didn't you finish 4th place?
I don't know.
I missed that. He said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
After me saying I'm not a fan of Harvick in the booth, and Evan, I like him. I think he's great. Well,
I still do think he's great. That
yeah,
I'm okay with that kind of commentary. To be fair, she very well might have been home saying that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But to my knowledge, she's also never stepped foot in a car, right? So
how's she get around?
To race it. Not apparently Rick doesn't get her around because that knee.
Like, we got to touch on that. Like, how, like, you live in the States, like, you can book your surgeries the same
Mhm.
day. Like, you knew this race was coming up, and you really, this is when you get your leg fixed?
It was a
Man.
just in case it doesn't go well situation.
Yeah, but, like,
Maybe all those tickets he bought for people to get there, he couldn't afford his own anymore.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe he didn't want to jinx it because he missed their first win too, right?
They all got pink
That's true,
slips
he
with their
did.
tickets.
He did, yeah.
What's that?
They all got their pink slip with the ticket.
Yeah.
Enjoy the race, but you're all fired.
All right, guys. So Ford continues to be shut out of victory lane, now going 0 for 8 on the season. Are we seeing any positive signs that will change in the short term, or is it all a negative outlook at this point for these guys? You're great, Joey.
I think there's always like one or two guys that run decent and get top 10s every time this year. So I think it's just a matter of time before they get the win. Whether they have like the stellar burst of speed or it's a late race caution and they get the right move or whatever. I think that win is coming, but I don't think they're going to turn on these dominant jets and all of a sudden be caught up to the field on speed and performance.
Yeah, I mean, you can really make the argument either way you want on this one, because obviously we're still early. Byron's won 38% of the races this season. So, I mean, that in itself isn't leaving much room for anybody else. Just missed out on Atlanta, third closest race in history. You know what I mean? We're talking about a Ford winning that. If that goes a little different, finished second at Richmond, second at Phoenix. So they're right there. They haven't converted into a win yet. But I mean, to be finishing second and being up there, like, there's good chances. But then you can also make the argument on the flip side, they have 3 drivers in the playoffs right now. Like, we are 8 races in. Like, that is a good chunk of races. I know there's still a lot more to come, but to have only 3 guys when you got Chevy that's got 7, Toyota 6, I mean, and RFK is not looking as great as what they did last year. Like, you really thought, they were going to keep building momentum. Like, Ford's taking a step back, and yeah, like,
and it might just be figuring out the new body, and once they get it dialed in, whatever. But
too.
it's not overly positive at the moment.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they get it figured out.
Well, what do you think? More positive news? More fun?
What?
Do you want to
better
switch to
than
the
this?
caution break?
Oh gosh.
How could it get any better than this?
We're still talking about Martinsville, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you
it can
want.
get better. I'm not saying that this segment will do it, but it can get better.
We're going to Texas next week. It'll be better.
Well, not only that, Donnie gets to recount how his race week went here in a few minutes, so
That's true. I'm
it'll
looking
get better
forward
for
to
us.
Bro, I didn't see a graphic this week. I don't even know who I picked.
that.
Yeah, I bet.
All drivers are just back on. I'm pretty sure I picked Byron. So
Yeah.
Are we doing averages this week of our picks? Like,
no. Trust me, pal. It's gonna take more than one to get you back up.
probably, but I'm getting there.
I don't know how many
Good
more
news
times
is you can pick Joey again come playoff.
All right. So tonight for the caution break segment, we are going to play a bit of this or that. It's pretty easy to understand. I'll give you 2 options and you simply pick one. The caveat to that is you've got to be ready to defend your reasoning because it very well may be questioned.
Oh God.
Maybe not, but it might be. All right. Okay, let's start
What
off
if we
with this
pick the
one.
same thing?
What?
What if we pick the same thing?
Well, then you probably don't need to defend it too much.
Okay.
Okay. Dale Jr.'s career earnings or Richard Petty's career?
What
Dale
would we
Jr.'s
pick?
earnings.
What?
What we would pick?
Yeah.
Oh, Dale Jr.'s earnings, obviously.
Oh, really?
No, 100%.
Okay.
Dude's worth like 300 million.
I actually think it's like 400 million if you
Oh.
believe what's online, but yeah, I mean, but he can't afford a charter, so
Because
or at
he's
least he won't
cheap.
suck it up and pay
He's
for it.
cheap as dirt.
He is crazy cheap, apparently.
Yep.
Like, The man wanted to go halves on a boat.
Right? And
And
not
not
a big boat, just the whatever
A
you call it,
pontoon.
pontoon boat. Yeah.
Like,
To
you
be
know,
fair, he spent a lot of money when he was young.
Oh
Like-
yeah, but he's
yeah, man, a
gotta be swimming
pontoon's
in
what,
it.
100 grand at
Oh,
most.
if that. I'd say like 40, 50.
Yeah,
They're
yeah. I
not
mean,
that
like,
much.
I
a
only
really
ended up
high.
paying 30 on it with him. He took more than half. So
All right. Well, you guys both agreed on that one. I actually also tend to agree on that one. Would you rather be an Xfinity champion or a Cup Series backmarker?
Xfinity champion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Corey.
Back marker being like Harrison Burton.
Backmarker being more like
Alex
whoever's
Bowman.
driving for Rick Ware Racing this week, like Kaz Gralla or
Okay. Yeah, no, I take the Xfinity champion.
okay. Would you rather have Denny Hamlin's career or Martin Truex Jr.'s career?
Truex. Hands down.
He's got a
Okay.
championship.
Exactly.
That
makes
will
you
always
just
be held
more
against
patient.
Denny if he doesn't win one. Always.
Okay.
Nothing else will matter except, oh, you didn't win a championship.
I'm surprised.
And
actually.
honestly, Denny's always been in top equipment. I think you put Martin in top equipment, his numbers are better than Denny's.
Yeah, that's very well possible.
Like Martin's got what, 34 wins to Denny's 52, 53.
53.
Like,
and
yeah.
Denny's
And
got
Martin didn't get
224
decent
top
equipment
fives
until
to 144.
2017, 2016.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And Martin is liked, so there's
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
And he's handsome. Just gonna throw
Okay.
that up there.
You don't look like him, Donnie.
I disagree
No,
with that one.
Would you rather be a single discipline superstar or a jack of all, master of none?
Superstar.
It's like,
Oh, really?
what?
Like-
Explain the
like
question
being
more.
good
Okay,
at one.
so like, would you rather be a guy like Michael McDowell, who when we get to a road course, everyone's like, he can win today, he's super good.
Oh,
But
like that.
everywhere else, it's like, probably gonna struggle. Or would you rather be the guy who probably gonna bring it home top 5, top 10 every week, maybe squeak out the odd win?
I'm changing my.
Yeah, I'm going
Yeah,
with
I'm
Jack
going
of
with
all
Jack of all
trades because I mean,
trades, yeah.
look at Ryan Blaney. Would you rather be Ryan Blaney or McDowell? Is basically the question.
Mhm.
McDowell. He's sponsored by.
He's
a
not.
truck stop.
He's not as jacked as he looks on those Fox cartoons, bro.
Seriously? Yeah. All right. This is where they start to get a little more interesting. The next
Thank
gen
goodness.
short track package
Oh God.
or
Anything
a full
but.
season of New Atlanta.
Like racing on Atlanta every week.
Yeah.
And what was the
Or-
other one?
Or
short
the
track?
current short track package.
Oh man.
Honestly, I'm going Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah,
You don't think you'd be
I will
bored of it?
sacrifice a season of just watching them race Atlanta for them to fix the friggin' short track package.
No
So
one
I
said
watch
this is a
another
single season
Martinsville like
event.
this. Still, well, if it's not a single season, then obviously no.
Yeah,
You'll swell
I'd
these
have to go
races,
with a
but-
little bit of variety, even though racing might suck.
Okay.
Like,
I'm surprised.
short track needs to be fixed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if I have to watch Atlanta for a whole year, I'll do that.
Okay, this one here is kind of personal for me, I guess. New Atlanta or old Atlanta?
I never got to see old Atlanta. So.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah, I'm going new, but I mean, you hate me for it, but I like the speedway racing.
I don't hate you for it, but I've got to say I'm an old Atlanta guy. I loved that track. It had so much character, and
Yeah.
like,
You're a sucker
many-
for a good personality.
well, I am, but just legendary races that were fantastic.
Yeah, unlike the one we had this year, which won't go down the history
No,
books.
don't get me wrong, it was great, but we haven't
It was
had like
incredible.
no, but it's not like we're at a better rate than we were before. This is what, our third season at New Atlanta.
Yeah, so I mean, it's hard to put
Right,
but I like the direction it's headed.
Yeah. I actually think as the track wears out and there's a little more gap and bigger runs, it might get even more interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Would you rather win the Daytona 500 or the Indy 500 and Coke 600 on the same day?
Daytona 500.
Really?
Yep.
I got to go Coke 600, Indy 500.
Same.
I mean, like winning the 500, that puts your name in our sport. Like, we know who you are. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
like, to pull off, like, I think the 500 is still the bigger crown jewel than the 600. Like, I will say, like, Daytona is our race, but as far as motorsports, to say you've done that in the same day, like, that's just, if Larson pulls that off, then like that's gonna put him in the argument of like top 5, top 3 NASCAR drivers of all time.
Yeah.
Like, just that one thing. Like,
I will say too, I think as much as I still consider the Daytona 500 to be like our pinnacle of NASCAR races, I do think that what made it a pinnacle race and where it is now are two vastly different things, right? Like back in the day, it wasn't nose to tail the whole way around the track. It was we're qualifying at an average speed of 212 mile an hour around this sucker, right?
yeah,
And then we're getting in the draft and going faster. Like
safety had to come in, unfortunately. Like, I mean, fortunately, because these guys, you got
I
to
would
take the
argue
wheel
it's
in
not
their hands
safer.
sometimes. You don't think?
I think the cars are way safer now. I think if you took the same cars we had now, no, hang on, hear me out.
I don't know. I'm listening.
I don't think bunching them up like that together and having these major wrecks is inherently safer. I think you could lower speeds and make the cars safer without having them bunched up like that.
Okay.
Well, no, I really like I don't think if you're in the third place position and you wreck in front of a field of 40 cars at 190 mile per hour,
Yeah, I don't.
that is inherently safer than hitting the wall by yourself at 205. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, I see your argument.
especially like now that we have safer barriers, we have a much better cockpit. Like the cars themselves are much safer. Seatbelt technology is way better. Head and neck restraint systems way better. I don't think that, I don't think we need to be doing 220 mile an hour either. I don't think that's anywhere near sensible, but I don't think bunching them up is necessarily safer. So I think what made it the pinnacle back in the day, where it was almost, surviving 500 miles and then racing at the end versus now where it's still surviving 500 miles, but it's a lot more luck factor, I think is a very different thing.
Man, I'm still going to disagree with you on that. Like, you talk to anybody in that garage, like, they want the 500. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But,
Like, I think if it wasn't as prestigious, or like, it would lose its luster in the garage and guys wouldn't want this as much. But like,
I still think that luster is based on the historical element more so than the current format, right? Like you
yeah, but
want
I
to,
mean, you want to talk luck though. Like, look at who's won too. Like, there's like, I don't think Jimmy Johnson wins because he's just lucky.
no,
Like,
I don't
even
think
Ricky
you can.
Stenhouse, you know what I mean? Like, you want to talk about one trick pony, super
Yeah.
speedways is his trick. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying you can luck into the win, but you can definitely luck out of it.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Right?
that you can use that argument for any track. Look at Christopher Bell. You know what I mean? Like,
He
he
sucked at
lucked out of a,
Martinsville. I don't think that had anything to do with luck.
what's
Or are you
that?
talking his brake failure last year?
Oh gosh, I hate you.
What?
Oh yeah. There you go. Brake failure in Phoenix. You know what hurt? You know what? I'm glad. I just gotta throw this out there. But the fact that Denny Hamlin had that red car with the brakes, like that paint scheme earlier this
Oh
year,
yeah.
I'm like, if they gave that to Bell, I would have been so mad.
Oh
Like, it
yeah.
would have been forgivable. That's all I could think that whole
Imagine.
race is. Oh, I care about brakes. But,
Well,
but
speaking of red paint schemes, let's talk about some red flags and go into our red flag segment, and we'll be right back to talk about
you're
before the
a red
green.
flag. So, how's the old iRacing coming along there, Ev?
It's been going really good, but I've been racing less, actually, if I'm being honest. I've been using Premier racing setups, and I'm just so much faster than I was, so the races have been much shorter.
Are you really going to try and turn this into an ad?
You bet I am. Listen, all jokes aside, I have recently switched to Premier Racing setups and became a part of their testing team, and I can say with 100% certainty that these setups are legitimately great. One of my favorite things about Premier is the fact that any and all of their sets are rigorously tested in-house before they ever get put into the real world. If you're an oval driver and you see me on the track, Premier is what I'm driving.
So it's going good then.
Absolutely, it's going good. Listen, with Premiere, I have access to way more than ever before, and all of you listening out there can too. From new digital car wraps to show your personal style to setup guides and coaching, you can get all of it from Premier Racing Setups. Did I mention that I've gained nearly 1,000 iRatings since I joined PRS about a month ago?
I'm sure you did, but for those of us not going on the team, it's got to be fairly pricey, I assume.
Not at all. Actually, we've got monthly setup passes starting at only $8 a month in some series, and that provides you with multiple setups for each track that series goes to. So you can always be guaranteed to be quick. As an added bonus, due to my partnership with the team, if you go to the checkout, make sure to use code BEFORETHEGREEN15 to save 15%.
Wouldn't it be just easier to follow the link in the episode notes?
Yeah, it definitely would be, but Mr. Complicated over here probably never thought of that.
So let me sum it all up then. If you're an iRacer and want to be fast, Premier Racing Setup has what you need, and you can follow the link in the episode description to save money.
Nailed it. Guess next time I'll let you guys write the ad. Maybe we can save some words.
All right, so we are off to Texas. We've only run 400 miles here now. We're down from the 500 it used to be as of last year. So we got 267 laps. We haven't had any overtime here since 2018. We got William Byron, who won here last year. We have Hendrick Motorsports, who's the organization with the most wins, with 7. But to be fair, 5 of those are Jimmy Johnson. And so, yeah, I think it's up for grabs by any manufacturer, really. So let's talk picks.
We should.
Well,
That
let's
was
talk
last
last
week.
week's picks first.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
All right, I'll bring it up.
Gotta
So,
So
Corey,
Gordon has the other win. Okay.
Corey,
What?
you're finally on the board, buddy.
Finally.
If it ain't broke, don't
Finally.
fix it. You picked Logano to get your first point. You picked him to get your second.
Trying to pick him to get my third, but I'm
Hey,
not-
Corey's
Evan
doing
likes
everything he can to
graphics,
do
so I
the-
think he should be back on the board.
Corey's doing everything he can to get the Donnie method back in place. Pick the
Right?
same driver all
See?
year.
Hey, it worked last year. But yeah, so congrats on picking that. Evan, who did you pick?
you.
Gregson?
Gregson, yeah.
Yeah, 20th place. I mean, I guess congrats. That's pretty good for Stuart Haas right now.
I wasn't actually expecting much from that pick. It was just I didn't want to. Had I
Yeah,
thought I
Tyler
would have picked an HLS.
Expecting much from a pick. I wasn't expecting what I got for all the wrong
That
reasons.
was rough.
Brutal. 35th. I mean, to go down 4 laps at a place where you can't pass, like,
Yeah.
what do you do? Like, and where there's no cautions, like, yeah, it just.
I will say though that Yahoo car looked really good.
I love that Yahoo car,
So nice.
right?
Also, I will
Honestly,
say
I like all Bell's schemes.
I do want to give Corey a little props here too, because ignoring the clash where he got a point, Daytona, Atlanta, Las Vegas, 37th, 25th, 26th. But since then, in the last 5
Oh,
races,
here we go, jinxing me.
No, in the last 5 races, he hasn't picked worse than a 7th place finisher. And that's pretty stinking good. I mean, it hasn't mattered until now, but that's pretty good little average finish.
Yep.
Oh man.
Honestly, I'm picking 3rd this week. That seems to be when I'm doing my best picks.
I want to be picking 3rd. I don't like this whole the leader
Right?
picks first. I don't like it.
Honestly, I thought it would, like, I argued for it, like, no, because Evan's original thing was, you just go the opposite order. And I'm like, that makes no sense because you're being punished, not getting your pick. But as soon as you picked Joey, I was just like, Frey, why did I take Christopher Bell this week? Like, if I knew you were taking Joey, there's not a chance I would have took Bell. But it's just like, yeah. It's just
You
figuring
think?
out these
Roads.
See, I disagree with you. I think you were pretty committed with the outfit you had on last week, that no matter what, you were going Bell.
That is
Like I
true. He
said,
told me
man.
before the pod even started, I'm picking Christopher Bell this week. Can you tell?
It looked like
But
the
like I
shark.
did like I knew I had first pick, so I figured
Yeah.
you got like honestly, I thought it was gonna be one of those. I picked Christopher Bell, you guys back down. Like Evan took Gregson. I was like, yep, perfect. And I thought you would use the throwaway. And I still would have lost, but yeah.
Oh man.
So gotta be a little smarter this week.
Mhm.
All right.
So yeah, all that said about Texas, that's where we're headed. That's who we're picking. Korey, first on the board.
First,
For the first time this season, actually. Because you won
on
the
this season,
exhibition,
that's
but I
right.
had first pick in
Oh,
Daytona.
yeah.
and I don't
So-
like it
This
because,
is a whole
like,
new
you-
level.
for all
Like, I
those
haven't-
reasons, for all those reasons you just said, I don't know what you guys are going with, and I have a feeling you want to go big, so I don't want to go big, and then I don't know.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, but man, I looked at how many races are left and how many good drivers are out there.
Man, it's 18 races. Like and I'm looking at my list going, I don't have 18 guys I want to pick.
Yeah. So that being said, this week I don't know if it's a layup. He's run decent here. It's three. Like, there's not a whole lot of guys who've stuck out of Texas, or there hasn't been many races. Like, it's just
Yeah.
there's not a whole
Yeah.
bunch of data. So
None
I'm
of that's
going
been a
with-
name.
what?
None of that has been a name.
Okay, I'm going with Chase Briscoe.
What? Seriously?
Yep.
That's who I was going to take. That was my layup. Because he has run decently here.
Go
but, like,
big, buddy. Go big.
Oh, man.
You know you
okay.
want to. There's one guy out there you want to take. Do it. 'Cause I know Donnie wants to.
I freaking told him at the start of the podcast too who I wanted to take.
Oh, you told him?
Because I thought for sure you were taking him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, all that. I still
That's
haven't
not
heard
a
the name.
I'm going to go. Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to go with John Hunter Nemechek this week.
Well, let's give the point to to Donnie this week.
Okay, see, this is what's rough. Is like I've had it marked down taking Byron here.
Yeah, you told us like
For,
a couple weeks ago. You were like,
Yeah,
I have Byron marked out before Talladega. I'm like, so Texas.
yeah. But like with your guys' picks, it's like, do I really take the 2 points or risk only getting one if he finishes second? Like I honestly, I'm going Eric Jones.
Good pick.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
we're all
look-
laying back?
Well,
Why?
I was gonna take Byron, like I really was, because I knew one Donnie wanted him and he won here last year. But like again, I look, there's 18 races left. I have maybe 6 top tier drivers left to pick. Like
Yeah.
I gotta space them out some. So it's just like
I think Eric Jones could beat those two guys for sure. He runs decent here. Like he's also run very bad here. Like he's had rough race where but
Man,
I think as far as like his finishing average, like this is like second or third best track.
I don't feel that bad about my pick right now. So you took Eric
I'm
Jones.
kind of excited. I think this is decent.
gonna be
This is going to be one of the most
there's
dramatic
definitely
weeks.
no clear favorite for sure.
Man, you guys have both taken Eric Jones already this year.
Yep. I thought you already took Briscoe, or was that Donnie?
I took Briscoe.
Donnie
okay,
took
I
Briscoe.
knew
Oh,
one of
yeah,
you
you're both
did.
taking Briscoe now, too.
Yeah.
I took him in Phoenix.
You guys have both
Corey-
taken a lot of drivers.
Corey's
I
just
haven't.
seeing who I pick and taking those guys now. Okay. I see how it is.
See, I've still got a lot of picks that you guys have both taken. I've still got Chastain, Briscoe, Bell, Logano, Jones, Bowman. And you guys have already eaten them up.
I have Blaney. You guys both use Blaney. I know that.
Yeah, we both used Blaney. We both used Kyle Busch. Donnie has him. So
Yeah, why would I want to use him?
actually, yeah,
Oh,
fair enough. Sorry, Steve. won't be
RCR
offended.
has been garbage.
Told you.
RCR.
I
to be
said it
fair-
from the start.
To be fair, Dylan kind of expected to be. I expect a little more from Busch. I expect Busch to make up for the car in some aspects.
Did Dylan
Which I
expect to be
think he
this
did
bad?
last year.
What's that? Donnie?
Did Dylan expect to be this bad? Because he just changed his crew chief. Like, obviously, he was hoping for something different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but again, we're going off a race where you can't pass anybody.
Fair.
and just because
So-
he expects better doesn't mean anyone with watching does.
Here's the thing: like, I don't think Austin Dillon's the hot garbage that everyone makes him out to be. Like, I'm like, if someone can defend Harrison Burton, like, come on. Like, I think Austin Dillon, is a good talent. I don't think RCR's got the equipment for him, and I think last year we saw how bad that equipment was starting to get. By the way, Austin ran, and I think Kyle Busch just got a heck of a lot more out of that equipment. But I'm thinking RCR is crashing down even further now, the way that even Kyle Busch is looking this year.
Yeah. So
Or
here's
it
the
could just be
question
the
then.
softness caught up to him.
So here, oh my goodness. So here's the question then.
Yep.
If Kyle Busch all of a sudden gets fed up with RCR, where does he end up? Like, where do you see
At home.
as
Yeah,
where?
retired.
At home, like,
No, you think?
yeah, who's going to take him?
I think I would see him at like a track house.
Okay, you know what? No, okay, Trackhouse. I don't. I think Stuart
Like, I don't
Haas.
see him with the Toyota team.
No, but I think Priest would be gone.
I don't know, man. Rumor is they might be cutting down to 2 charters.
I heard that.
I feel like that's been the rumor for 3 seasons now.
Yeah, but
So who are the 2 guys that stay? Josh Berry and Gregson?
I think you would have to keep Briscoe.
Oh, Briscoe. Yeah, obviously. Complete.
Like, I think for me, Priest is
Shut
the
up on
guaranteed
that.
out.
Yeah, Briscoe's the guaranteed stay even over Berry.
I think so. So
Yeah,
then who do you take, Briscoe, or do you take Barry or Gregson? And I think for me, I stick with Gregson, simply because
likability, marketing. See, that's
Well-
what's tough. It's like he was marketable before.
but
his
not only
thing.
that, Josh Berry is
32, 33.
33. He's
Yeah.
like, he's got a lot less career left. So if you're looking for someone to like build around,
Yeah.
and he's had a shorter
I mean,
career in the national series anyway.
Briscoe for sure is staying.
I would
Honestly,
think.
I'd rather them drop to 2 and be competitive than go
Let me ask
down
you
the
this.
road they're going. Yeah.
Is there a road where you could see them getting rid of Cindric and putting Busch in the 2? Or like a Wood Brothers scenario? Like, there's so many interesting options, I think, where like it wouldn't be a
Wood
step.
Brothers makes total sense.
Well, not if you don't think he would end up at why do you think he wouldn't end up at Penske?
Because he'd be just as competitive in that car. He's going to get whatever's in that equipment, he's going to be able to pull out of it. And I think Wood Brothers has decent equipment. It's just.
Yeah, but why do you think
Harrison's-
he wouldn't replace Cindric? Harrison's not doing worse than Cindric by a lot.
No, but I think Cindric's safe because of his connections.
Maybe.
What's
Yeah,
his
I guess.
connection there?
I
His
mean,
dad's
if you can get Brad K pushed out of his seat, like you're connected.
That's true too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know, Brad was maybe looking for an out too, but I think that all happened a lot quicker because of Cindric. So
Yeah.
if you can get Brad out of that seat, I think that seat's yours for a reason.
Well, there's an opportunity too. Brad's not going to race forever. Do you throw Kyle Busch in that seat?
I mean, they're close in age.
Yeah.
Kyle's not going to race forever either.
But I think Kyle will race longer.
Yeah. No, I don't see Kyle leaving RCR. Like, I think he's got to realize.
I don't think
And I
they'll let
mean-
him. Like, why would they want him to leave? Like,
Yeah, and he's Chevy now.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
He's not the villain
that raises
anymore.
the point too. How do you get away from being that popular? Like, once you've kind of
And here's
gone
the
from
thing.
being the worst to the best, popularity wise. Like,
Yeah.
not the best, but close.
And I mean, like Austin Dillon, you know what I mean? Like, he's got his seat until he doesn't want it. I can see him taking over the business side. I see him retiring younger than what I would have 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and then you got Austin Hill, who'd probably take that seat.
Ugh.
I mean, yeah, I know, right? And then you got, Braxton coming up. Like,
Who?
there's a
Oh, his kid,
remember.
Braxton. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's his name.
Yeah. Sorry.
But Yeah. So I mean, you know what I mean? Like keep a seat warm for him, kind of thing, or
See, I really like the track house idea. But I don't think there's necessarily room for him there. I think you'd have to get rid of like a Suarez because they've already got Zane
Ricky's
Smith.
Trackhouse's brand. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mr.
And they've already got
International
SVG
Pitbull.
and Zane Smith in the pipeline. So
Yeah.
but I do think, hear me
And
out on
Ross
this
is
one.
marketable as all get out. Like I don't like the kid, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's money.
Yeah, he is. And so hear me out on this one too. I actually think if Honda does come into the sport, I think Trackhouse is like a great opportunity for them, especially since they also race in MotoGP, where Honda also has a brand. If you could get them to switch over to Honda there and in NASCAR, might be a cool little.
A lot of scenarios.
Yeah. Penske.
Talk
to
all
Honda.
night.
What do you think of that?
What?
I could see Penske going Honda.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like they're not.
Speaking of Penske, I want
We'll
to
close with
mention.
this.
I want to mention one thing before we leave. For all of the talk this week about Hendrick's 40th, I don't think I heard it mentioned a single time, but this week was Penske's, I forget if it was 6,000th or 60,000th start in that. It must be 6,000.
Must be 6. 60 is a big
yeah.
number.
Yeah, 6,000th start in NASCAR on the Cup Series side, and I don't believe it was mentioned once.
Right. And these
I
are
think
back-to-back champions.
That's
That's
true.
what I'm saying. It's all Chevy. You get that Chevy privilege, and they want to cater to that, and it's ruining the sport.
All right. Well,
Shame on you,
There
NASCAR.
will be another Toyota in the field next week, though. Jimmy Johnson's running, so
I know. I'm surprised Donnie didn't take him.
Honestly, I had no idea he was.
yeah.
Oh, that's on me.
I was tempted because I mean you're throwing them away, you might as well throw it. But
Oh, well, I mean, you take the most winningest guy at the track. Like,
right? I thought about it.
oh, man, I wish I would have known that.
I mean, to
Honestly,
be fair,
though, I feel good about Jones.
his
I
last
think I got
win
it
was
locked up.
8 seasons ago.
Yeah, but I
Heart
don't
of
need
the
to win. I
champion
just need a
man.
top 5.
When was
yeah,
his last top 5?
You know what? Yeah.
7 seasons ago. So anyway, the outline says I'm going to do the outro, so I better jump on that and end this thing. Thank you guys all so much for listening. Really appreciate your support on YouTube as of late, as well as here on Spotify and anywhere else that you might be listening. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. We do this every week throughout the season, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Ring the little
See ya.
bell.